My name is Hugh, and I'd like to talk in this video about the VRI Flip and how it happens in a movie theater. Over the course of one's life, one normally goes to different movie theaters that are in different orientations relative to each other. You might go into a movie theater that faces in a northerly direction. You might go into one that faces west or east, or all the way around to one that you're facing south when you're in the theater. And over time, you get a general sense of how each theater is oriented relative to all the other theaters that you've been in. And usually, you kind of get a sense of all four different orientations. You get used to each one and which one you're in relative to the other theaters that you've been in. What happens is a lot of people get their orientation flipped when they're in the movies. And it's a visual reorientation that happens to them. They get turned around while they're watching the movie. And the main reason is because each theater is basically the same setup. It's got a big screen in the front. It's got a lot of seats in there. And what happens during the movie, the lights are down, and you kind of get the sense that you might be in another theater that you've previously been in. So you kind of get turned around in there. When you come out, you're turned around, so it takes a while for you to get reoriented and which way the car and the parking lot and the exit and everything is. You get turned around while you're watching the movie. One of the easiest places for me to do a VRI flip by using my mind is in the movie theater. And that's because over time I've practiced going from orientation to orientation in my mind's eye, and for me it's a lot of fun. I've made up another model over here called Experiencing the VRI Flip in a movie theater. So I might be in this theater here that actually faces in a north direction, and I'm watching the movie and everyone's there and we're watching it. And then what happens is, in my mind's eye, I make myself think that I'm in another facing direction theater. So for example, over here, you would go from this orientation over to this one for a 90-degree VRI flip. Now what happens when you're actually doing the VRI is you flip your orientation this way, but you're still in the same theater when it happens. So it's the same theater, the same people are in there with you, it's during the same movie, but north is now in this direction. So you've gone from this one to this one in an instant in your mind's mental map, and you actually see the whole theater, the whole world, everything turned around in an instant, and so that you feel you're actually in this theater now. Now that's a 90-degree VRI to the right. You can also do a 90-degree VRI to the left. So you're in the same theater, you're facing the same screen, the same people are in there with you, but north is now in this direction. Now, even though those two 90s are possible VRI flips that you can do in your mind's eye, you can also do what is easiest for me and many others that I've talked to is a complete 180-degree VRI. So you turn around in an instant all the way around to this way. So you're now in the same theater with the same people watching the same movie, but you're completely turned around in the 180-degree opposite position that you were in an instant ago. So that's a 180-degree flip when you go like this, and that's a 90-degree flip to the right, and a 90-degree flip to the left from your initial position. So that's what it's like when you experience the VRI flip in a movie theater. If you want to try it, you can. Some people find that VRIs are very hard to be in a new position. It's difficult to be in one because if you do actually do a flip over here, you might actually exit the theater and then stick in this position. So your whole world is now turned around to this position. And it might be a permanent position. You might now be in this position all the time. So some people don't like to do VRIs, but myself, I find it easy to do the flip, not only in the movie theater, but wherever I am. I can flip a 90-degree flip or a 180-degree flip around in an instant just by thinking about it. And I find it really fun and enjoyable to do. And but if you don't want to try this, or you feel uncomfortable in a different orientation, you don't have to try it, you don't have to do it. But this is just for informational purposes. If you want to try it, this is the easiest place for me to try it in. Thanks for listening. I appreciate any comments.